So let's start off now with our strengths and weaknesses. Our presenter for this section is Melvin Powell. Melvin has been a Toastmaster for 10 years and is currently a member of Taumarunui Toastmasters Club. Melvin has a wealth of experience as a speech evaluator, and tonight he will share some strengths and weaknesses of an evaluation and demonstrate how to give constructive feedback. Melvin is also a DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, as we all know it. In 2019-2020, Melvin was the Area Director of the Year and knows how Toastmasters can help anyone become a better listener and public speaker. Melvin says he actively uses his experience gained in Toastmasters from doing various roles over the years in his professional life and on a daily basis. So would you all please help me welcome Melvin Powell with strengths and weaknesses. Over to you, Melvin.
Thank you, Marlene, and welcome everyone. Strengths and weaknesses and evaluations are key, in my personal view, to supporting club membership. There is no doubt that clubs gain when we can deliver good evaluations. We can all remember when we delivered our first speech, when we delivered our first evaluation, and what we won't remember probably so much is being evaluated by the general evaluator of the meeting on your first evaluation. So how do we evaluate correctly, and what strengths do we need? Well, one of my ideas for strengths is to evaluate the person appropriately. You can be a very harsh evaluator. The new speaker can be a new member to the club. Your evaluation needs to be tailored to that member. There is no point pointing out all the weaknesses and things that the speaker has wrong because you're a stronger evaluator than that person is a speaker. One thing I've learned, it's always easy to give people problems. You can give them problems, you can tell them what's wrong. The secret to a good evaluation is to evaluate to motivate, not actually tell them where they go wrong, but tell them how they can improve and what they can do to add to their evaluation to build on that at the meeting. The secret with every evaluation for every member, every club, is to take away something from the meeting. So to evaluate effectively, we need to speak to the speaker, and we need to understand what the speaker is going to talk about. We need to do a bit of research before the speaker arrives so that we can actually ask the speaker, what would you like me to look at when I do my evaluation? I find this is something that's often forgotten a little bit. We can review the guidelines of the speech or the pathway, or what that might be for the speaker, so that when we do give our evaluation, we focus on the requirements of that speech, and the evaluation meets the requirements of the speech that the speaker should meet as well. We should speak to the speaker if we have any concerns about the speaker. They may be a new speaker, so anything we can help them with prior to the speech, and maybe give some feedback, touch base with that new speaker. Definitely new members of the club, to gain member retention, need support. So how do you do that? Well, you can show that you're interested. That's the first part, I would say. Take an interest in the new member. The new member arrives, we can all remember it. We can all remember doing our first icebreaker. It is nervous. But one thing about the icebreaker speech is you get time to prepare. One of the things that as a member you learn is that when you're doing an evaluation, you get a few minutes. And that's, in my view, a lot harder than actually delivering the speech as you go forward as a Toastmaster. You can be more personal. If you get to know your speaker and you bring your strengths and share your strengths with the speaker, you can be more personal. You can encourage them to use, for example, quotes in their evaluation. And that quote will be, Troy, you got your hand up for me.
Just for the
Sorry.
timing, sorry, Melvin.
Sorry. That quote can be whatever you want it to be. But what we want to do is try and help our deliver the evaluation and bring some strengths for someone to be able to paint a picture and deliver the evaluation, which has got some good feedback for the speaker. You can stimulate the improvement for the learner. You use words like I believe. Perhaps you can say something in a different way, explain something, add to your strengths of an evaluator by making that bit personal for the speaker. One of the other things we can do is if you've got a strong voice, you can change your voice. If you're like me and you've got an accent, it can sometimes be awful. Remember that and actually sometimes soften your voice. Remember how you breathe. That way, the way that you come across can be more genuine, more softer, more personal. You might be evaluating a speech which is a personal story for somebody, and I think you have to have a different approach. The strengths of the evaluation will allow the member to grow. The member will grow with good evaluations. Other people in the room will grow with good evaluations. That will allow the club in turn to grow. If we encourage and inspire new members, we will encourage them to stay with the club. And to do this, we can use honest and sincere praise. We can give positive reinforcement and offer improvements and how they occur. We can offer helpful direction in a nice way. I think all evaluations, if they're going to be positive, have to be done nicely. When we are talking, one of the strengths that we need to use will be how we use our different vocal variety, explaining how the body speaks, explaining that we're not actually evaluating the speaker, but more how they say and what they say. And I think that's important to remember as well. If we show that we care, we will get more back. Caring for our members and caring for others is definitely something that we should all be doing. When we have a caring, sharing, safe environment, the clubs definitely prosper. We and other people will talk about the CRC method. Now, if we have a weaker evaluations, what do? Well, first of all, members don't really seem to learn too much from a weaker evaluation. The evaluator needs to be challenged when evaluating the speaker, whether the speaker is an experienced speaker or a new speaker. We definitely need to be able to give good feedback. Weaker evaluations, in a way, are a little bit detrimental to us. If we share with each other and we do groups like this, where we can go through, we can learn from each other, we will definitely improve our Toastmaster member retention. And that has got to be good for the district. Thank you, Troy.